All right, let's get it. Welcome in, everybody. Soul Commodore here again, back at you with some more live painting. Like I said on Twitter, this is going to be a shorter session, like Mondays usually are. I'm only going to be here for about an hour because I've got some things to do later, but we're going to make this hour a special one. Hello, Jake. Welcome in. Welcome in with the bow and the hello there. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? So you always hear people say that they would be remiss if they didn't do something. Well, I am remiss today because my last stream, I forgot to thank Fredo MNT, XX Alex and Aaron XX for following, and I forgot to thank Redria for redeeming the karaoke channel point redeem, and I forgot to thank Not Again for rating. So thank you everybody. One more follower page. I am good friend. You are a good friend. So some of you may have found the title alarming, but don't you worry. That is just a lyric from Sly and the Family Stone's Thank You for Being Myself Again. As far as I know, I am not dying young. But I do want to talk about the second part of that stanza. And once I get my paints together, we will talk about it. So, I am good, friend. Yes, commas. Commas are your friend. But Jake is a better friend. But I'm glad that you're well. And I'm glad that you got a little bit of a reprieve from work for a little bit, you were saying in your stream. Which is always nice. It's always nice. Got a bit of a holiday coming up for myself. In about, actually, just under a month's time. We're going to be, well, my girlfriend's not going to be here. She's going to be at the World Championships for Dragon Boat. I'm going to be here on my lonesome. So, that 10 days that she's going to be gone, one of those days we are going to do our 12-hour charity stream. It has been glorious. Yes. Excellent to hear. But yeah, we're going to be doing our big old charity stream. So, everybody get excited for that. Details for that will come closer to the date, because I haven't even decided which day we're doing it. But we'll figure that out. Okay. I just need to get my yellow. And once we get my yellow, we will discuss what this title is all about. Is this my old yellow? My old yeller? It isn't. I just need more yellow paint. That's all. Yeah, we're not getting much out of this, but that's all right. We'll get what we can. Here we go. All right. Now we just have to grab a brush, and we will be all set to go. Gonna head to bed? Well, thank you for hanging out for a bit, Jake. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you. I definitely will. This will be a fun one. Short as it will be a fun one. Painting almost fell. All right. So, this isn't a brush, but I remembered that I have to do this. But yes, have a wonderful night, Jake. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Okay, 26. And yeah, so that's got to come down just a little bit. Shoot. Okay, let me just Mark that's got a... Hey! Jake, thank you. Thank you for gifting a sub to Justice. Justice, welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you. Well, I mean, you've been here before, but enjoy the emotes. Kappa, indeed. Thank you, sir. You didn't have to do that. That was a total of 23 gift subs. My God. What a day. Okay, so I'm gonna bring y'all in closer, and so the song lyrics that are the title of this stream, dying young is hard to take, selling out is harder. It's the final stanza of the final verse of Sly and the Family Stone's 1971 song, Thank You for Letting Me Be Myself Again, right? And I want to talk a little bit about the second half of that stanza, because it's something that a lot of artists deal with, right? Whether that's a musical artist, whether that's a visual artist, filmmaker, a writer, composer, whoever, right? We all sort of come at this crossroads at one point or another. And it's the idea of selling out. Now, what is selling out? I have always personally defined selling out as such. Selling out is basically compromising your principles in order to make money, right? And much in the way that calling a black person an Uncle Tom from within the black community is sometimes seen as like the worst insult that a black person can give another black person, right? For those of you who don't know, the term Uncle Tom, its origins are actually from the book Uncle Tom's Cabin. And it's actually kind of interesting, the history of that term. I'll just go through this briefly, but originally the term Uncle Tom was taken from the character Uncle Tom in that book, right? The thing is, in the book and in early productions of stage plays based on the book, the character of Uncle Tom was seen much different than how he is depicted now with that particular insult. Basically, white production companies would put on productions of that play, and they rewrote the character of Uncle Tom to be extremely subservient to his white masters. This book takes place during slavery in the United States, but they basically rewrote play productions to make Uncle Tom a much more subservient, much more timid, much more tame character, in the light of the times, because a lot of those white productions, particularly Southern productions, were playing to a white audience, and it was there that the term Uncle Tom became seen as such a heinous thing to call another black person, right? Because again, the whole connotation is that you're a sellout, right? That you're selling out any semblance of black pride and black culture to white masters, right? Which brings us round to the term sellout itself, because some artists would consider being called a sellout to be the worst thing that you could possibly say about an artist, right? That they're a sellout. Now, why is that? Well, as I mentioned before, the idea of being a sellout is largely based on the idea that a sellout is someone who compromises their artistic principles, or their principles in general, to make a dollar, right? They compromise some part of themselves in order to, for the almighty dollar. And in the world of arts, this is seen as especially heinous, because art is supposed to be made. It's art in some respects is seen as kind of rebellion against that kind of thinking, the capitalist thinking of like, you know, you're creating art to make money as opposed to you're creating art because you need to create art, you want to create art, you have this feeling or this desire inside you to put something into the world, right? And you can't help but express it on canvas or on stage or on film or whatever. And that should be enough. Whether you make money from it or not, that should be enough, right? And thus, someone who compromises their artistic vision or their artistic principles, because this can head into like the political realm as well. But for the purposes of this stream, I'm just going to talk about like artistic stuff, right? People who compromise their artistic vision in order to make a buck. That's who I'm concerning myself with. And that's who I would consider to be a sellout in my definition. Some people go even further and say that, and this is a little bit ridiculous to me, some people, and I went to school with a couple of them who felt this way, feel that if you make any sort of money doing especially visual arts, you're a sellout. And not because like you literally sold something, but because you made some sort of profit from your artwork. And that's not what art is supposed to be about. Art is supposed to be about just making art. And that should be enough. If you make any sort of money as an artist, you're a sellout and a hack. Which I never quite agreed with that for obvious reasons, right? Obviously, like, it's good to have like that desire to create and that need to create, right? But if you can make a little scratch on the side doing it, or you can make it a career, I mean, why not, right? But then the connotation is still like a very negative one. Like if you get called a sellout, whether it's because you, in some people's minds, have compromised your principles, or because you've sold art and you get one of these people who think that if you sell a piece of artwork, you're automatically a sellout. You don't want to be called a sellout, right? It is like the worst thing that you could call an artist. And it's funny because I don't think in most cases that it's actually the worst thing in the world. I mean, I would much rather someone be straight up and be like, yeah, no, I'm doing this to make money, right? Sellout be damned. I'm here to make money with my artwork, right? Also, the fact that my chair's sinking. There we go. Also, the fact that like it's hard enough to make a living being an artist, right? So if you find a way to profit from making your art, in a reasonable, like, healthy way, in a sustainable way, in a way that's ethical, then by all means do it. Like, there are certain things that I will not do, and not because out of a fear of being called a sellout, but because I don't particularly have any interest in doing it. I have been... Oh, my chair keeps... My chair does not want to stay up anymore. It's a very old chair. I've had this chair since university, so I'm surprised that it's held on this long. But yeah, the actual hydraulic mechanic... Not hydraulic, but you know what I mean. The mechanic that keeps the chair up doesn't really work anymore. Anyway, I'll give you an example of one way that I would consider myself a sellout, but also how you could see that it actually wouldn't be that terrible a thing, right? Because we're not talking about like a political sellout where someone is touting the ills of late stage capitalism, and yet at the same time, that's how they make all their money, right? And they'll proudly continue making that money, right? In that manner, right? We're not talking about anything as heinous as that. One thing that I don't particularly enjoy painting are just pure landscapes, right? Just go out in the forest, find a whole bunch of trees and some rocks and some water, and you just paint that, right? I've been commissioned to do that a couple of times, and I have no problem doing it. But that kind of stuff doesn't excite me. That subject matter does not excite me in the least, unless I'm doing something to it, like messing it up, or adding something to it that's a little bit, sus or what have you, right? Like that's what excites me, is adding something, like doing those spaces, but then adding something that makes people feel uneasy when they're looking at it, or like just something isn't right, right? That's what gets me going. With, in particular, landscape paintings, right? And that's not to say that there aren't some fantastic landscape paintings and landscape painters. All respect and power to them. They're very good at what they do. It's just not what excites me as an artist to create that, right? But if I started going out to like craft shows and stuff and only selling that stuff, right, to make money, I would consider myself a sellout in that respect. But you can see with that context, like, it's really not all that bad a thing. It's not that big a death sentence, right? It's really not that big a deal. It's like, yeah, the stuff that I want to paint doesn't sell, but these little landscapes do, so I'm going to keep doing those because I want to make money as an artist, right? So sometimes I feel like within art communities, I don't know, it's I understand why some people would consider someone a sellout and why it's seen as such like a taboo bad thing, but at the same time, it's like, it's really not that big a deal, especially because the stakes are so low, right? As opposed to, say, like a politician who, again, speaks about the ills of like late stage capitalism, but then makes all of their money participating in that system willfully, right? Because it makes them a lot of money, right? It's not quite the same playing field, It's not quite the same thing. It doesn't have the same intent behind it, I would say. So, yeah. I don't know what brought that to mind, really. I think it was because I was reconnecting with an old university friend, and we had some art classes together, and it just made me think of those classes and some of the art that we were creating, and how that term got thrown about every once and again. I would much rather someone not compromise their principles to make a dollar, even within something as low stakes as, like, painting something that you don't particularly like, but it'll make money, right? So you do it. I would rather someone not have to do that. But if they do, like, it's not the worst thing in the world, And I don't know, I might be alone in that, I might be alone with that take. It may not be a popular take. At the end of the day, like I said, I would much rather people stick to their principles and stick to their guns, come hell or high water. But I can also understand when you gotta make food and you poured everything into being a professional artist full time, and it's not panning out the way you wanted it to, and you need to eat. I can see where the desire to forget all about the notion of selling out and just doing something that you know will make some money. Like, I can see where that's coming from, you know. That's really all I had to say on the subject, which is funny because, yeah, I really don't have anything more to say on that subject. That was just some thoughts that I had. I suppose I could tell some stories about my experience in art school, which there were a lot of good moments. There were some also not great moments, but you know that goes with just about everything. I remember this one time. I was in a class. I've told this story before, but I was in a fourth year painting class, drawing and painting class, and the syllabus for this class. I'm going to move the camera up actually because I'm going to be standing. So let me do that. On my makeshift tripod. There we go. So I was in this class, and the syllabus for this class said that the teacher was going to teach us how to make our own paint. It's going to teach us how different painting techniques and all that kind of stuff. And then we're halfway through the course, and he hasn't done any of that, right? And it was funny. Other than the professor, I was the only I was the only guy in that class at that time, you know. So me and the rest of the women the women in that class were like, "Excuse me, you told us that you were going to you're going to teach us all these things, right?" And he said verbatim, I have never forgotten this because it was just so ludicrous to me. He said, "I'm not here to teach you how to paint. I'm here to teach you concepts to make your paintings better." And what was ludicrous about that was, one, all of us could come up with our own concepts. I mean, that's a big part of being an artist. Huge part of being an artist is coming up with concepts. Like it's kind of a big deal. This is kind of what it's about, other than like actually putting stuff on the canvas. And two, it literally said in the syllabus that this is what you were going to do for us. So you're just a liar then, you know. So I didn't particularly like this professor. And then I'll never forget, we did a studio tour with his own work, right? And he actually had an artist loft that I was kind of like, you know, I would have liked to have a studio like this one day. You know, it was like in an old warehouse, and it was actually kind of neat getting over there. And what was really cool too was my sister came up to visit me in school because she was on break from school for some reason. She was like, "Hey, can I come up and visit?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So she came up and stayed, and I took her to this field trip with me with this guy's art, and we get to the person's we get to my professor's studio, and just instantly looking at his stuff, I was like, I have lost all respect for you as an art professor, because in my opinion his art was trash. Now obviously objectively, hey, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, but Pandolce FX, thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Soul Commodore. I'm an artist, and I usually do. Hey, May Munchies, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. That's follow number 200, I think. Which means that the next art stream we're going to do a charcoal drawing. But welcome in, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Soul Commodore. I do paintings on stream. I play games every once in a while. But yes, thank you very much for the raid. Thank you. Let me give you a shout out. How was your stream? How was your stream? You were working on some art as well. Nice. What kind of art do you do? May, thank you for gifting a sub to Pan. That's very nice. Very nice. Thank you. You didn't have to do that. But yes, thank you. Welcome in, everybody. We've got about unfortunately, because I've got things that I got to do today. We're going to be ending the stream in about a half hour or so. But feel free to stick around if you want to take a break, because both doing streams and watching streams can be tiring. Feel free to go take a break, go get a snack, take a nap, whatever you need to do. We started out with a video game and then ended up doing some tablet painting. Nice. Just for fun, nothing serious. Just a beginner, so do it for fun. Excellent. That's a wonderful way to do it. Hey, Trip, welcome in. Threadnought, hello. Don't tell May or Pan things that they should or shouldn't do. It'll only confuse them. Fair enough. But yeah, welcome in, everybody. Like I said, if you need to go refresh yourselves, if you need to go take a break, if you need to relax and wind down, feel free to. I just appreciate all y'all being in here. But yes, welcome in, everybody. We started off today talking about the idea of like selling out in art. Hey, thank you for the follow, Pan. I appreciate that. We started out today, I was talking a little bit about the idea and the concept of selling out in art. And then I kind of just... I started talking about my university art experience, and how the only teacher who I didn't really get on with, it turns out that I saw some of his artwork when we did a studio visit, and I didn't respect his art at all. Like, objectively, like, his art was fine, right? And I could see how people would like it. It just was not for me. And it was like, okay, I need to get out of this class. Facts, and thank you. I'll be grabbing some snacks here in a minute, but definitely loving this. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you think it looks good. Though, to be fair, I swear I confused May by telling her 2 + 2 = 4 one time. Hey, well, I mean, math is difficult. Was that my major? It was, yes. Math, not math. Art was my major. I was supposed to graduate in 2012, and then I didn't. Ended up graduating in 2014. But I love this raid. I love this raid message too. But let me go back a little bit. Hello, Toby One Kenobi, which is an amazing name. That's an amazing name. And May Munchies and Aeonian Penguin, which is another great name. And Threadknot. And yeah, that's... Y'all got some great names in here. My goodness. But yeah, we've been working on this piece for a couple weeks now. It's quite large. It's 48 inches by 42. Yeah, that's a fantastic name. Also, what video game were you playing? Because I also dabble in the video arts. So, and by that I mean I play video games too. Maybe I missed, but what was the reason you said you didn't get along or see eye to eye with this professor? Oh, originally I didn't see eye to eye with him because when we started the class, it was a 4th year painting course, and the syllabus said that this class was going to teach us how to paint, like different painting techniques. He was going to teach us how to make our own paint because we were poor university students, right? So sometimes we needed to resort to making our own egg tempera paints, right? Which in retrospect we could have just Googled how to do that, but he laid out in the syllabus that he was going to teach us that, right? And I wasn't that good a painter then, so any techniques that I could learn, I was more than willing to. That is part of the reason why I chose the course. And it turns out that he was a very, very big conceptual artist. He loved concept more than he loved the actual medium that was on the canvas. So it's about halfway through the course, and me and all the rest of the people in the course are like calling him out and saying like, "Hey, you said you were going to teach us all this stuff." And he said, "I am not here to teach you how to paint, even though his syllabus said so. I'm not here to teach you how to paint. I'm here to teach you concepts to make your paintings better." The thing is, we were all 4th year university. We knew how to come up with concepts for our artworks, right? Maybe they could be better synthesized and all that, but like we all knew how to come up with concepts. So we were all basically like, I think all of us kind of lost respect for him as a professor that day because it was like, clearly you just lied on your syllabus. So, and then we went to a studio, we did a studio tour of his own artwork. And like I said, like, obviously people's art isn't for everyone, right? Some people love what someone does and some people will hate it, right? So I can't sit here and say that my professor's art was objectively bad, but subjectively, I didn't care for it. I didn't like it. It was very, very, it was all abstract. And I love abstract art. But this was all very like patterned, almost like a computer did. Like he just like printed patterns out on a computer and put it on a canvas. And it was not my cup of tea. And mixing that with the fact that I already kind of lost respect for him as a professor, because I didn't think he was a very good professor to begin with, and then he lied on the syllabus, and then it just, he very much wanted, as much as he pretended like he wanted us to have our own voice, he very much wanted us to kind of mimic his artistic voice, right? For example, he hated photorealism. He hated photorealism in art. His whole idea was like, if you're going to do something photorealistic, you might as well just take a picture, right? Whereas I really enjoy photorealism in art, right? So it was just stuff like that. I don't think anyone walked out of that class really enjoying their time with this professor. But you know what? Kudos to him. He's still there, I'm pretty sure. So, he's doing something right. So more power to him. I just wouldn't take one of his courses again. But the important thing is that he really enjoyed what he did, right? He really enjoyed his art. You could tell. The one thing that I did enjoy about that studio visit is he got very excited about talking about what his art was about, right? And talking about his art. And that's really, like, I can dig that, right? Even if I don't like the art. So, yeah, he is still there. He is still there. But like I said, more power to him. People like his stuff. People like the way he teaches. He just wasn't for me. But I did appreciate the fact that he was so passionate about his own art, even if I thought it was kind of trash. But, your stuff's not going to be for everyone. So, yeah. There was this one student that I went to school with. Her artwork was just absolutely incredible. I think she transferred out to a school in the Maritimes. like in third year, because I didn't really see her on campus ever again, or in the art building, which is really a shame because I really really liked her stuff. Uh, oh, and we were playing Humans Fall Flat. I like that game. That game's fun. Humans Fall Flat. That's a funny game. Yeah, wiggly, cute, silly looking characters, and you work together with someone else to solve puzzles, get to the next part. Fun game to play with people. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, yeah, no worries, no worries. Feel free to go get that snack. Feel free. Kinda trash. Those are unusually harsh words coming from. I mean, yeah, they are. I'm usually not that harsh, but I really didn't care for this professor. But you're right, Trip. It is, and it might be unfair too. Like obviously, he's tenured as a professor at a university, so clearly his stuff has some sort of value to someone there. So, you know, I can't trash the man too much. I didn't particularly care for his work. But hey, what are you gonna do? That was ages ago. That was a decade ago. I was a mere 22 years old. I didn't even know everything about my own practice then. Like, my big thing then was charcoal drawing. So I thought, oh, I know, Trip. I'm just rethinking my words, and maybe I was a little too harsh, but at the same time, nah. But yeah, like I still wasn't finished developing my artistic voice or anything at that point. My artistic voice when I was 22 and in school still is very, very different from what I'm doing now. Very different. My stuff then was a lot more, well, a lot more politically based, I guess. But actually, not even, really. Now that I think about it, a lot of my stuff there was like working off of reference images and, you know, trying to. Art is very subjective. That's true. Yeah. Which is actually one reason why I could never be an art professor. Because while there are some like concepts and stuff that you can like, it's very much like there's a right way and a wrong way, and like I guess you could grade color theory and someone's knowledge of color theory, right? Like there's certain stuff like that where like yeah you can like assign a grade to it because there's like technically a right and a wrong answer. Like for instance, like going back to high school, right? Like learning that, or even elementary school, we're learning that green is the complementary color of red, right? And other color theory things like that. Like you could mark that, but I would find it really hard to like mark artwork itself, because at the end of the day, it's like, well, do I like this? Or do I hate it, right? And that's what your marks are going to be based upon. You know, I mean, part of it could to, like, okay, did the student fulfill the concept that they were laying out? Did they do that successfully? But even that's like really subjective. I mean, who knows? Maybe the student thinks they did. Same issue I have with music teachers. Yeah. Like it's very difficult to like sit down and say like, you know what, that's a good painting and that's not, and then breaking down in a scientific way or like a objective way, like, and this is why, right? So, yeah. Where music theory has its purpose as a basis for things sounding pleasing to the ear, establish chord progressions. Yeah. It's impossible to be completely objective, but if you're rating something like that, you got to break it down for what you're grading it for. Yeah. And I think that would just, for me personally, like I would have a hard time trying to figure that out. Which is why, good news, I have no interest in being an art professor. But you learn that and then you stray and create. Yeah. Basically, you have to get over yourself and remember that whether you like a piece or not, you need to look for what works and what doesn't and be extra picky. True. And I think that's the thing too. Like I feel like this professor wasn't particularly good at doing that, right? Because there were some pieces that, I don't know, in my own objective or subjective viewpoint, worked really well in that course that he did not grade well at all. So clearly he had a different rubric for grading than I would have. You know. But then, you know what? There are professors that I really liked that I'm sure someone else had an experience like that with them. So it's all who knows? All I know is that I'm glad that I'm not in a space now where I am doing art for a grade, right? I'm doing stuff that I like. And if other people dig it, that's awesome. And I hope they do. But if they don't, at least I'm not going to, like, get bad grades for it. But I think that comes back to the concept that I was talking about earlier with selling out, which in my opinion is like compromising your principles to make $1. Or to, like, in this case, with this professor, like, I started doing work that I thought that he would like in order to get, like, a good grade, right? Which also kind of soured my experience with that particular professor in that particular course, even though I really didn't have to do that. So really that issue lies with me. But it's something that I started doing. He sounds like a narcissist who had a crumb of power. Yeah. Well, so I graded you. Your art it gets a D. D for dope. Well, thank you, Trip. I appreciate that. Yeah, that dude. Like, if I saw him now, like, I might, like, be like, hey, you know, we should go grab a drink and talk me through your process a little bit. Like, your teaching process. Because I want to know, like, why you are the way that you are in terms of being a professor. And like I said, I'm sure there are other, like my peers in the art program, I'm sure there were other professors that I loved that they had the same experience with. So, like a negative experience, but who knows? It's weird to think that that's in the distant past now. Okay, there we go. I think we got some nice color going on in this room here. Okay, I didn't need for that to be that dark, but we'll work with it. One thing you'll find too, if you stick around this channel, is you know, Bob Ross had happy little accidents. I straight up make mistakes. I just call them what they are for me. I just make mistakes. But then I work hard to correct them. And sometimes I just leave them because they actually end up working better. But yeah, no, I just make mistakes. But that's okay. Hey, L, welcome in, welcome in. L, you'll be happy to know that we got our 200th and 201st follower. So the next art stream on Thursday, we're going to be doing a charcoal drawing per your recommendation. So This chair's been bothering you this whole time? Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll eventually be getting to that chair. I just kind of drew a framing of it to where I wanted it within the space while I finished up this floor and this this baseboard. But the chair will be filled in. There's going to be one here as well. So don't worry. Don't worry. It will be done. I tend to jump around my artworks a fair bit. Instead of just like finishing one part of it, I tend to jump. And that was one part where I thought I was ready to do the chair, and then decided, nah, not yet. Okay. So I think I finally got these walls the way I want them to be. So I'm going to move up here and start working on this a little bit more. But I'm very glad that y'all came in. You know, I like making new art friends on here. I didn't realize just how many artists there were on Twitch, you know? So it's always cool to meet new people, see what they're interested in and what they're working on. I dig it. Yeah, I was going to ask if there was an outline of something that you needed to finish or some drawing on the wall. Yeah, it's an outline of a chair that's going to be in the foreground. Yep. Yep. And I sketched it out, thought it was good. I mean, I made the wheels a little bit too small, but then I started looking at the floor and I was like, I really want to redo that floor. And I really want to put in the baseboard, which I really should have done before I drew the chair. Really, drawing the chair when I did was a mistake. But, you know. Here we are. I cleaned up our very messy kitchen, so I'm feeling accomplished and tired. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Cleaning is cathartic for me. Good job. Yeah, I can see cleaning being cathartic. Sometimes when I clean, it's cathartic. Particularly when I clean my car, like clean out my car. I like to keep the inside of my car pretty clean. Okay, so we kind of blend that out. It usually is for me too, but I've not been well enough to stand there and do the dishes. That's also fair. Exactly, Threadknot. You'll fix it, then it'll give you the chance to regret something else. Exactly, exactly, as is the way. Indeed. Yep. That's exactly how I operate. I still say one of the trippiest things for me is like if I'm lucky enough to get my art in a show, right? And hearing people like walk past it, or even like just people that I know in real life, like friends and family, like look at something and be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And in my head, having to keep to myself like, "Nah, but I did this and this and this and this and this, and I wish I did that different, and that really doesn't look all that well, and that does not look anything like I wanted it to turn out," you know. Yeah, Elle, I hope I'm glad you felt well enough to do the dishes, and I hope in general you feel better soon. But yeah, it's really quite the trip. I know it is. You're an artist. You sound like an artist. Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm glad that I sound the part. uh, so I will have to wrap up here soon, but we'll go another 5 minutes before we wrap up. Too early, all the typos. Hey, that's all right. That's all right. Well, it's just the usual BS. I'll be okay. Well, that's good. That's I mean not good that it's the usual BS, but you know, good that you'll be okay. There is no usual BS. We're always here to listen. That's also true. That we're always here. Okay. Oh, I was gonna fix these the reflections down here. That's right. I have no acquired new illnesses, is what I mean. Ah, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's I mean that's also good to hear. Uh, Let me take you all around this because we have some new people in here. Let me take you all around the canvas on a little canvas tour. So you can see what we've been working on from the beginning. Ah. All right, so we got like I said, I wanted to redo this floor here, so I did that over top of the chair. Over top of the chair. You got this baseboard that I still need to add a few details to, but it's finally straight and level. Then we've got up here with the ceiling. You know, I'm gonna darken this area just a little bit more, like coming over. So this ceiling is gonna get a complete remodel, probably the next time we get together, where we'll actually be painting. This room finally is coming together with the nice little shadow in the corner. And there's going to be another chair here facing this way that's actually in the room. And then we've got the floor with the reflection, because it is kind of like a reflective floor. I might end up like actually doing the tile markings on the floor, but maybe not. I might just leave it kind of glassy looking, but we've got the reflection here. I'm going to lighten this up a little bit so it looks a little bit more like a reflection. We've got the shadow coming across and up and across the ceiling. Well, below the ceiling, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I really like this whole area myself right now. Like, I'm really digging this. I do need to redo some of these reflections of the baseboards in the floor. Like, I need to water those out a little bit. But yeah, that's that is our piece so far. That's about as far back as I could take it. Can't really get the whole thing in because this piece is very large. But yeah. May I post a funny clip from a Pan stream? Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. By all means. Thank you, Elle. I appreciate that. Uppies. Where are we going to draw a link into the piece? Oh, he's going to go right here. Right there. Master sword and everything. All right, let's check out this clip. Majestic long neck. All right, let's check out this clip, and then we will raid out. Because unfortunately, I do need to get going. Majestic long neck dogs. A giraffe. Nice. I like that. Oh, it's too late, Pan. It's too late. He's under the floorboards. He's already there. Ah, I like the way you think, Elle. Yeah, Link is always there. He's always here. I wanted to say, though, thank you so much for welcoming everyone so warmly. Hey, no worries. I appreciate you deciding to share your community with me. Because there's another streamer I watch quite a bit, Salt Cannon 5K, who is always very appreciative because, in his words, and it's very true, like, you're trusting your community with me, you know, and I don't take that lightly. So I really do appreciate it, you know. I'm glad that you enjoyed your time here. Yeah, feel free to drop by anytime. Definitely be back. You have a super soothing voice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so... Oh. My watch, hey, is raining. Thank you for the follow. I think that's the second rain-based person. Because there's another user named Raincloud who comes in. So thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. My watch did one of those phantom buzzes. I thought it was my girlfriend texting me. And because I use my phone as a webcam for the art streams, I thought I was about to lose you all for a second. Because when someone texts me, basically the camera freezes. But it wasn't my girlfriend texting. It was just a phantom buzz. Another rain person? Uh-oh. Hey, me personally, I love rain. Rain is my favorite type of weather. As a matter of fact, I think it's raining now outside, and I'm probably going to go for a run in the rain, because I love that. Let me catch up on some chat here. Soul is such a sweetheart. Duh. Ooh-woo. Because I know Elle loves that. He's really kind, and it's always a pleasure to be here. I do sing Trip from time to time. I really enjoyed your stream. It's been nice. You're super friendly. I love the vibes. Well, thank you, May. I appreciate that. Hell, I definitely picked up on that. It's great. Thank you for being welcoming. Yeah, no problem. Thank you all for being wonderful coming in. Rain's not here today. You're safe. Run away when I do? I mean, hey, some people might want to run away when I sing. Overcast supremacy. Exactly. No, rain is the best weather. Pan, thank you for gifting a sub to L. My goodness. Y'all are so just full of generosity and love today. I appreciate it. All right, let's do some thank yous. Because there's a lot today. thank you, Jake from the Woods, for gifting a sub to Juxtus. And thank you, Pan, for the raid and for the gift sub to L. Really do appreciate you. May Munchies, thank you for the follow and for the gifted sub to Pan. I really appreciate you as well. And Pan, thank you for the follow. Is Raining, thank you for the follow. All of you, thank you for coming in. And whether you were chatting or lurking, thank you for just being wonderful. And I hope you all had a good time. I had a good time. I always have a good time. All right, let's find somebody to spread the love to. Let's do that. So let's open up Twitch. Once again, you'd think I would have this set up already. So that I don't have to just like... Alright, let's see. What's going on here? Who's doing what? Ooh, you know what? It's Naomi Art is on. We're going to go say hello to It's Naomi Art. Naomi does digital art, does a lot of just wonderful, wonderful cloud work, and kind of like fantasy looking work. Very, 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 very talented, very hardworking, clearly puts a lot of work into what she does. So we're gonna go say hello to Naomi. So feel free to follow over. If you don't, thank you for spending your time here. I really do appreciate all y'all. I should actually raid the channel, shouldn't I? Let's actually press the button. There we go. All right. There we go. Excellent. So, thank you all for coming in again. I hope to see you all again. We're interesting. We ended up there after all. Oh, were you gonna go raid her as well? So yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. We're going to be back here doing a charcoal drawing in a celebration of our 200th follow. That'll be Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we're going to be finishing up Super Mario RPG, so if you're into retro video games, tomorrow at 6 p.m. We're going to be fighting the final boss in that game. And then after that we're going to be streaming on Saturday. We're going to be doing Breath of the Wild on Saturday and some more art on Sunday. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you all for coming in. It was nice meeting all of you. And yeah, hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. And yeah, let's all go say hi to Naomi, shall we? All right. Take it easy, y'all. Actually, thank you all for the stream. I really do appreciate it. And Threadnought, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated.